Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. We promised we're right back at you with another episode of The Monsters Den. 2 for 1 here on Thanksgiving evening. Welcome back to the episode to Jamie Laszlo, Craig Kaminski, Davy Gallagher, and the king himself, Chris Allo. Terrifier 2, everybody. You've been asking. We've all watched it. Damien Leone's sequel to Terrifier from however many years ago that was. When did that come out?
15,
5 years. Yeah, 5 years ago.
2016,
Yeah.
which itself was a sequel to that other movie I never saw.
All Hallows Eve.
Yeah. So just to back it up a little bit, so the first Terrifier film, I kind of thought was okay. It was, you got a killer clown, right? Who doesn't love killer clowns? You got tons of gore, pretty extreme, not the greatest plot in the world, but entertaining, right? I think it whet people's appetite to see more of Art the Clown, who seems to die in the first film or the second film, technically, but that's not the case.
It's one of those movies that has that scene in it.
Yes. Yes. That scene, which we don't even need to go into because it's exactly. I actually watched this with Chris in his garage, and we were both kind of like, "Alrighty then."
Yeah.
In the first one?
Yeah.
The first one, yeah.
Okay. I only watched the first. I just watched the first one like a couple days ago. Sorry. What is that scene?
You're getting numb to violence, man.
No. Which one was it? I
Girls Upside Down.
Come on, the Hatton stand from hell.
Oh, okay. All right.
Doing the splits.
Make a wish. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think the goal for this film was to make it twice as gory as the previous film, which I think they kind of did.
Twice as long.
It's twice as long. Yes, indeed. That's probably the one major thing we're all going to have to say about this here. So, Chris, your thoughts on Terrifier 2?
Yeah, Pete and I watched Terrifier 1 at my garage not that long ago, maybe a year ago, Pete.
Yeah.
And I thought it was okay. You liked it more than me. To me, it was a knockoff of a slasher film, but really more towards torture porn because he doesn't just murder the victims; he sort of gleefully tortures them. And then right here's the sequel, whatever. And this thing was a fucking massive hit. I actually ran into a guy that was friends with Damien Leone who was going to do the convention by Craig's house, Monster Mania, because they were doing a full reunion and photo ops with the guy as the Art the Clown. And he was telling me the story how this Damien Leone guy raised 250 grand and was hoping to do 500 grand in the box office. And at the time when I had this conversation with him, it had just hit 10 million, and now it's over 11 million off of a $250,000 budget, which is unfucking believable. It way outgrosses the original. Special effects I think are pretty good. It's all practical effects.
Yeah, they are well done. Yeah.
It's still pretty much a slasher / torture porn film because it's the same thing. Jason and Freddy would just put a hammer in somebody's head, and this is like an episode of Family Guy. He puts a hammer in somebody's head and then pulls out their eyeballs and squishes it and plays with it and wipes
and they're
out
not
his
dead
face.
yet. And they're not dead yet.
Yeah, and it just keeps going on and on. But the main problem with this movie, it looks fucking like $1 million or more. But it's way too fucking long, which Jamie already mentioned. This movie is 138 minutes. Where the fuck does this guy come off thinking he can make a slasher movie that's 2 hours and 20 fucking minutes? I mean, think about that. I started to think, all right, of all the fucking movies that I like that are long, Dawn of the Dead, Star Wars, Terminator 2, Conan the Barbarian, these are all fucking epics. This is a guy in a fucking clown suit running around making stupid faces, chopping women up. This could have been 85 minutes like the first one. First one was 86 minutes. It took me 3 times to fucking keep going back to this to fucking get through it because I was getting so fucking bored.
It's fatigue.
And it's like the same thing over and over again. Clown walks here. There's no plot. Clown walks into a store, makes some fucking goofy faces, then kills the guy, mutilates him. Then the clown breaks into a house, makes some goofy faces, mutilates the girl. Then we've got this really pretty actress who's like making this crazy Halloween costume because it was her dad's character. But like they never mention the character's name. They never say, "Oh, Dad was a comic book artist. Dad created this nothing." It's like, wait, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. You can't even give me that much of a backstory.
Well, I'm watching that and I was like, okay. Oh, okay. Art the Clown's going to be her dad, and then it was like, no, he's not. Damn
I was
it.
waiting for the tie-in.
Nothing. There's nothing. It's so. And the movie is bogged down by these ridiculous dream sequences.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, this is another fucking 10-minute dream sequence, another 5-minute dream sequence. I'm like, oh,
Well, we got some budget to kill. Let's start this person on fire, in this sequence.
To me, that was just maddening. So, and it's so funny because like I was on some website and the reviews are so varied on this, from like 1-star review to 5-star reviews, all over the place.
It's like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's
Though.
87.
Really?
Yeah, I could not believe
So,
that.
I mean, I was mildly entertained by some of the gore and some of the acting, but I would never, ever sit through it again because ultimately, to me, it's a chore. There is a ton of gore. I cannot believe this movie got an R rating.
Yeah.
Like, this blows my mind. Especially, like, everybody on this panel.
It said not rated on...
Yeah,
on,
I thought it was unrated.
There's an unrated cut as well.
Oh, is there 2 versions?
Yeah.
the one I said,
okay.
it said
See, that I didn't
NR,
know. Because I looked, I Googled it. It's still playing at a theater in Jersey, and it did say
Yeah,
R-rated. So, all right, maybe the version I saw was I'm assuming the uncut
Unrated.
one. Because it was...
Either way,
was
though,
like-
it's pretty extreme.
It's like Fulci level of gore, which again, if you compare it to the Fridays and the Halloweens and even the Nightmare on Elm Streets, they're like bloodless.
Yeah.
And this thing is like next level. But some of the effects too, because they show them so much, they get really fake looking. And
Well,
again,
it's
to me, it's
overexposure, right? It's overexposure.
Yes.
You're showing too much of it, and then
this is all too much. It's just all too much.
That's why Craig couldn't remember the scene. He saw too many of the scenes in a short amount of time.
I'd say there's
Like,
definitely
which
this
one are we
scene in
talking
this one
about?
as well, though.
Well,
This scene in this one.
Well, with this, I was
Right.
like, we're doing Terrifier 2, and I was like, ah, damn it, I never saw the first one, so I gotta watch that one. Then I got through that one, and I was like, well, that wasn't very fun, and then, and then I put on the second one. God, it's 139 minutes.
Oh,
That is a thing, though, isn't it? I mean, think how overblown the It movies were. I mean, that second one was like 3 hours long as well. Why is it with killer fucking clowns and these running lengths?
Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like, to me, the Fridays and the Halloweens, they're rewatchable because it's likable characters. There's teenagers having sex and having fun, and then they kind of get killed by Jason or Freddy or whatever. Like this, there's none of the characters are likable. I kind of want to see them get killed, but then it's like when they do get killed, it just fucking goes on and on forever.
Or I'm watching the credits, in the beginning, and it's like, and it says Chris Jericho. So I was like, oh, okay, Chris Jericho's going to be in this. And now I'm like all through the movie, I'm like, I haven't seen Chris Jericho yet. And then it's like the mid-credit scene comes on, and the mid-credit scene was too long.
Yes.
I mean, the mid-credit scene should be maybe 2 minutes.
And it was
That
ridiculous.
went on like 10.
It's longer than the first movie.
It was like, oh God, kill me now.
Yeah.
And you don't even get the satisfaction of seeing Chris Jericho getting slaughtered.
That's a good point. And did he have like a fake nose or something? Or did he just get punched in the face by like
I don't know, but
MJF or something?
they certainly
his
put
nose
that.
looked kind of swollen.
I wonder if it was just after a match or something. But
And
they
that
had a
could-
line. They had a line about him. I'll start
Yeah.
my diet tomorrow. I thought, oh, that doesn't tie in too well to the whole Jericho's too fat to wrestle these days narrative, does it?
That's funny.
When Felissa Rose had a real quick cameo in it as the
Yes.
school principal.
Yes, there was a couple of old screen
And,
queens which I liked.
And
yeah.
blink and you miss it. There's like one of Elliot's like school friends. I was like watching that, and it's like, wait, that kid looks familiar. And then I was like, he's Daniel-san's douchebag son
From Cobra Kai.
from Cobra
Oh,
Kai.
I missed that.
Because I was like the ones that were the two boys that were looking at the dead possum, and it was like, well, I was like, well, that one kid looks so familiar, and then it's like, oh, he's Daniel-san's son.
Tamara Glynn was in it as well from Halloween 5. So there's a couple of old scream queens popping up. She was the mother at the trying to get into the store with the Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought my favorite scene was the Halloween store scene, where she's in there and she sees him lurking around, and she winds up leaving, and he stays in there to go buy something, and the clerk behind the counter is like, "You're gonna buy something already?" And then he totally decimates him, and that brought some chuckles. But yeah, that's
not the killing the girl and then leaving the room to go get bleach and salt.
Yeah, that was crazy too. Yeah, well, that was.
Well, to me, that is the scene from this movie is her killing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
was pretty tough to
I
watch.
thought it was the boyfriend in the car with the his junk,
And no fucking nudity. 2.5 hours and no nudity.
Side boob.
No, I thought there was.
You got a bit of side boob in the show.
Side boob, but that was obviously a body double.
Yeah.
And you got some cut off cock being rubbed against the window, I suppose.
Stunt penis.
Jamie, what were your thoughts?
Well, when it first started, and it kind of starts off where the last one ended.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the eyeball bit. I'm like, okay, this movie will be fun. If they keep doing this for 2 hours, 20 minutes, maybe it'll fly by for me. But no, man. So right after that, I thought, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a list of scenes that need to be trimmed. And then I'm going to put how much time needs to be trimmed. And then I'm going to do the math, subtract that time from the movie, and see how long my movie is. My list was too fucking long.
Yeah, I was going to say you couldn't do it. Yeah.
And then the scene when they do that cut off 6 minutes. It was too fucking long. So I just said to hell with that idea. I mean, the Clown Cafe fucking song
whole sequence
went on for 8 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this going to end?
And we know it's a dream sequence, so it's not as if it's got any purpose.
No, there's so many things that didn't. Elliot Fulham. Is that his last name?
Fulham, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good kid. I've watched his YouTube channel years ago when he was a little tyke, interviewing like Gene Simmons or Alice Cooper or whoever. It was great. He was on this show, I think, a few times.
Yep.
Sea of Tranquility. Great kid. I'm happy he's successful. Every scene he's in the first half, cut it out. Oh, they found a dead opossum or something. Open it up. What are we doing here? And the mom yelling at him constantly. And maybe he's a psycho. Maybe he's not. Went nowhere with that. He wants to dress up like the clown, the killer clown. Oh, that clown killed people. Why would you do that? And then Pete's favorite scene in the costume store. There's the killer clown. There's the killer. You think it's the killer. You're not running. You're like, please don't honk that horn in my face, you psychotic killer. Please. It's so awkward. That's the killer. What are you doing? So, and he could have killed her right there instead of kidnapping her brother to lure her to kill her.
Yes, that seemed
could have killed her right there.
Out of character.
But it wasn't written in the lore or some bullshit.
I thought there was some kind of connection between him and her, the dad, the kid. But no, in the pale little girl. Okay, so in the beginning, the laundromat, he's playing patty cake with the pale little girl who looks pretty cool. I feel like they threw her in there to sell Halloween costumes to females.
Quick question: was she in the first one?
Nope.
The little girl.
She was.
No, she was not.
She was his first kill.
First victim. Yeah.
And now she's like some kind of ghost, I guess.
Yeah.
But the guy,
Except for when she's
could
not.
see her. Could not see her. But the two main characters can see her. So can people see her or not? Or are the two main characters in the same headspace?
Is she real or not? Because she did the Terminator voice. She was impersonating Elliot's voice.
Yeah. And where did that come from?
The sister. So
you know what? This movie would be so much better without the supernatural elements.
Yeah, and it adds them
in a clown costume,
indication,
killing people and laughing about it and cracking himself up. Get those supernatural elements out of there. And speaking of which, at the end, so she's dead, but you know what? She has that stupid fucking costume. And the whole time I'm like, she's going to get the sword and she's going to have the costume and she's going to come out like Valkyrie and fucking battle him. Just get to it. But then the sword starts glowing and she comes back to life.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Why was it a magical sword?
Why is this happening? Someone, you had, like he said, Chris, you had 2.5 hours to explain all this.
Nothing.
And you're just doing,
we don't even know the name of the character. Oh, what's your Halloween costume? Oh, I'm going as Dad's character.
This explains the lazy writing right here. One scene. The little kid, the brother, Jonathan, tells his sister, "You're the only one who can stop him." And she says, "Why?" And I said, "Here we go. Here comes the explanation." And his answer was, "I don't know."
Because you're the next page in the book, apparently.
Because
oh my God. And then it ends with the chick from the first movie with the
mutilated girl from the first movie, which at that
giving birth to Art's head.
Yeah.
The most unbelievable
people out there might be thinking, "Oh, they'll explain it all in the next movie. The world might blow up tomorrow." Make me a movie right now that makes sense. I want to watch it. I want to know what's happening, and I want to see credits. And I want to go home. And I want it to be 90 minutes of just Art fucking around and laughing and killing people.
I'm done with Art after this.
Oh, and the party scene went on and on at the club.
My
God.
We're drinking, we're not drinking. Call your mom, don't call your mom. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
she makes amends. Oh, and the mom's always yelling, and then she gets shot in the head. Okay. We didn't even need you to begin with.
They couldn't get rid of that mother fast enough, man. Holy cow.
Oh, she was so annoying.
Woof.
I liked her. I thought she was the best thing.
No, she was a bitch.
But she was a good actor. I believed her, unlike some of the other nonsense that was going on here. I could believe her.
But it's a good movie rolled up in a very bad movie, you know.
Oh, I think it's an awful movie rolled up in a bad movie.
You get both.
Yeah, I didn't get a whole sense of a lot. I mean, a lot of the slashers, that we all love. I mean, there's always a sense of fun in them, and just for some of these, I just didn't feel like it was.
There's no fun in this.
For me personally, I didn't find a sense of fun.
The teenagers are not having fun. Nobody's having fun. The audience is not. To me, the audience is not having fun. I'm like, oh, okay, this is Family Guy. You can't just kill her. You've got to just, eviscerate her for fucking 10 minutes on screen.
Yeah, it was like fucking.
While you're making goofy faces.
It was like Ricardo Montalban at the end of Naked Gun, where he gets flattened, and then a thing rolls over him, and an elephant walks on top of him, and a parade walks on top of him.
I kept wondering if Damien Leone is a big fan of Family Guy and Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, because that's what that's what kind of popping in my mind.
He's a terrible disappointment to Sergio Leone.
He can absolutely make a movie. There's some great shots in here. Some of the acting's not terrible. The special effects are pretty good, but Jesus Christ, he needs somebody to fucking edit his movie down. And the thing that makes no sense to me, right? This was designed to be played in theaters. Your movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes a pop. Did you realize that the point of making the movie shorter means you can get more screenings per day, which means you will make more money? So this thing made $11 million in the fucking theaters, but maybe if it was 100 minutes like Barbarian, maybe it would have made $40 million like fucking Barbarian before this went to streaming.
And then you
this couldn't
then
play
you
that
get
long.
then you get
I
the
almost
stream
went to the
cut
theater.
you have to pay more for and make more money.
Yeah.
I almost went to the theater to see it, and I would have walked in not knowing how long it was. I would have been sitting there going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's a tough sit through.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the most unbelievable part was when he was doing laundry and his clothes came out so clean. You know, I was like, that would never happen.
He walks
That
out of there,
blood came
he's
right out.
white as anything. He's like,
pristine.
yes.
It's like, what brand of
Because we needed to see
how.
how he got his fucking clothes clean again, you know? For fuck's
Ancient
sake.
Chinese secret.
Yeah, he used a lot of shout or something. And you know what? What blows my mind is kids today have no fucking attention span.
Yeah.
They got no fucking attention span. How are all these kids into this movie that is 2 hours and 20 minutes? Blows my mind.
I don't know.
You guys know, like what a movie. The slashers were all generally like an hour and a half.
They're all 90 minutes and under.
except for like one I can think of. Like Happy Birthday to Me was what, like an hour and 50, and that that was a little
It that long.
But I mean, but this just obliterates that. Or even like the Exorcist. How long's The Exorcist? That's like 2 hours and something.
That's a little over 2 hours.
It's a prestige movie, though.
That's
yeah.
right. Rosemary's Baby is like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I can't
type of a movie.
John
An hour,
Cassavetes.
50 minutes.
Yeah. So
Polanski.
I thought it was a typo when I saw it. When I fired it up, it's like 139 minutes. What?
You have to.
Me too. I literally did the maths in my head and went, no, that's not right. No.
You have to think that Damien Leone must have thought that, people don't have the attention span for 2 hour plus films, but if we give them enough senseless, ridiculous violence and gore, they'll be entertained and they'll stay with it, even though the film has a lot of holes in it. I don't know. I mean, I think, guys like us, we could sit through a lot. I watched tons of long films. This was hard to sit through for the whole thing.
Yeah, this is not the movie. This is not what the length of this movie should be.
I mean, there's a reason why films, and it doesn't matter what type of genre film you're talking about, but horror is a good example for that. They have the character who explains the lore. That character usually dies shortly after doing it, but you have the old professor who explains the book, or you have the Necronomicon, or you have
first couple Fridays.
Yep,
exactly. You have even in Ghostbusters, you have the fact that Ray runs an occult bookstore, that kind of thing, and knows about this. And Egon's into the paranormal, so there's always somebody who knows what's going on. And this, we go from the first film being a very straight ahead slasher. It's just two lost girls meeting a crazy clown. No supernatural elements at all. None. Apart from the end where he just does the slasher thing of waking up and, coming back to life. Typical slasher nonsense. But then in the second one, it doesn't go supernatural. It goes comic book, which just came out of nowhere. I mean, she's literally got sad wings of destiny on her. She's got these bloody wings, and she's crying her eyes out, and she's the chosen one. So she's wearing these sad wings of destiny, and she's floating about. Is she dead? Is she not dead? Oh, she's been healed by the magical fucking laser from heaven. Who knows? And the swords, the fucking magic sword from Conan the Barbarian or some shit. It's fucking, I don't know. Fucking Ray Harryhausen's
it's all based off Dad's character. Even though we had all this time, we couldn't even say the name of the fucking character.
And no point. Or does anybody think, should we flip to the nip page and see what Dad said?
Because it doesn't seem to explain much.
They should have just made her wings come to life too. What? Go the whole 9 yards.
I did kind of think that, Jamie. Not the wing thing, but just all right. You kind of went a little crazy, but maybe you just should have went fucking balls to the wall crazy.
Yeah.
With
don't half-ass it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Craig, you got any last minute things to add on this one?
No, if they make a Terrifier 3, I don't know if I mean, I know that obviously
they're going to do fucking Terrifier 10. Newsflash.
Yeah.
He's already said that.
Already said it's going to be short. It's going to be shorter.
He's already said that he wants to do a Terrifier 3, of course, but he's going to do 3 and 4 at the same time and make them shorter.
Yes.
But that will be followed by 5, 6, and 7. And I said this to Pete the other day. We are going to get fucking an avalanche of Terrifier knockoffs in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Not to mention There'll be
Terrifier
They'll
will
have
be
to show his
Terrifier.
or his origin story, because the
All
whole
that, they're
also
gonna do it
while
all.
I'm thinking, it's like,
Yeah,
where
they'll do
why
everything.
is he even doing this? It's like, at least with Jason, Michael Myers, whatever, name whoever you want, what their motivation is, so
Yeah,
this-
you need
I don't know
after
what this
after 4 hours, we know nothing more. We don't even know the
Yeah.
guy's name. We just know art was written in
Right.
the fucking. I mean, nothing. I mean, that is so lazy. And this what's his name?
So
Damien Leone, Sergio Leone. Get to
Yeah.
fuck. This guy can fuck off, man. I mean, Chris, you
It
said
sounds so much funnier when Davey says it.
you said I'm sure he can direct a good movie. This guy couldn't direct fucking Traffic. I mean, the first movie is a disaster. The second
First one is
movie is
pretty bad.
horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And in the middle, he does Frankenstein Meets the Mummy, which is one of the worst films I've ever seen. And I'm including this in that, but at least that was made by a small company who wouldn't give him enough money to make it 3 hours fucking long. This is a travesty. This I don't know. There must be something in the Geneva Convention against this fucking movie.
He can't write.
I mean, I felt
He
like I
cannot
was
write.
being held prisoner.
He's not a lazy writer. He's just unable to do it.
Was he the editor? Was he the editor of the movie?
There's no
or was
editor.
there a
That's what
separate
you're talking
person?
about. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing him.
Just
in
put
that.
That was a
everything-
clean floor. There was no film on that floor. Nothing. Cut.
He directed it, wrote it, edited it. He did the whole thing.
He also
That's
did the
it.
makeup. He did the special effects, and he actually had a bit part in it. And I saw his name in the cast in the credits for one of the roles.
Jack of all trades, master of
Yeah.
absolutely none whatsoever by the sounds of it. But I mean, and then they have the cliches of like, they're all sitting around and everybody's watching Night of the Living Dead on this one night. And I thought, yeah, that's what my mum does at Halloween. She sits in a room with a glass of wine and watches Night of the Living Dead. And they're also watching
And
House
also
on
Plan
Haunted
9,
Hill,
right?
Plan 9,
Yeah.
and House on Haunted Hill. Just which are all out of copyright by total coincidence.
Yep.
Just cliche, and then when it's not cliche, it's not torture porn. It's a new kind of super gore, I'd say, where we want to see the actual innards. We want to see the innards pulled out. We want to see people getting flayed alive. And we want their eyeballs not just to be pulled out, but we want to go right inside the socket and we take mashed potato and put them into people's eye sockets.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe people were throwing up during this movie because, I mean, yes, it's gross, but
But you know what,
still
Jamie?
looks
Though,
comic
even if
booky.
that never happened and someone said it,
It's good
people are gonna want to
publicity.
go. Oh, people threw up.
Great.
I was going to say, but not only that, you got to remember, The Exorcist was made famous by people allegedly passing out, vomiting, dousing themselves with holy water. And guys, that was 50 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure people lost their shit, right? When the original Frankenstein and Dracula came out from Universal.
And Psycho.
The little
Almost-
ghetto getting thrown in
almost
the
100
water and
years
stuff.
ago.
Yeah.
One of my
exactly.
favorite trailers ever is Paranormal Activity, where the trailer was just the camera on the audience freaking out. And that was the whole trailer. One of the trailers, not every one of them, but I was like, that's a great selling point.
Yeah. But speaking of sales, and Chris hinted at it just a couple minutes ago, it's like we are probably going to see merch galore for this film now that it's been
Here at Halloween right now,
Pete, your grandkids are going to go see.
they are fucking
parts
rolling out everything for
and
Terrifier 2
15
next year.
Yep.
Yeah, the little hat, the
Yeah.
Well, I can see the Funko Pops. I can see the costumes nice and easy. You've got the thing over the head. And you're right, it's almost like they introduced the girl character so they can have a girl version for girls to go as. And, an
husband
alternative.
and wife, haha, look at us.
Yeah, like an alternative to doing the kind of slutty Harley Quinn that you see a lot of these days for Halloween. And it is set at Halloween as well, because the first one was set at Halloween and that was a year after. And then that last scene where she gives birth to the head. What the fuck? The fuck? Jesus Christ on a bike. I had no idea what was going on. I mean, first of all, she's gushing blood. I'm like, is she having a period or what? I mean, I don't know what's going on. She's writing on the walls, all sorts of obscenities. And then
The little
baby,
pale girl has diarrhea for no reason in the laundry.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to introduce a character, isn't it? A big bout of diarrhea. Makes you really like that character straight away. Fucking hell.
I like some of the bits. I do like the bits. Like the woman's head is now a bucket to give away trick or treats.
Right.
You know,
Best gag in the movie. Best gag in the movie.
Kid's hand because he's taking more than one.
And he reprimanded the fat kid for trying to take more than one piece of candy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's things like that. If you could just cram them in 80, 90 minutes, have some stupid teenagers doing some stupid things in the middle, I'm happy. 3 stars.
Yeah, and you know, Chris, one of you guys mentioned something earlier on how in a lot of the classic slashers, you have kids and teenagers or younger people who just seem to be having a good time with whatever's going on, and they get bumped off. But in this movie and the first movie, it's like none of the regular people are like, they're all miserable.
They're all miserable. They're all complaining. They're all arguing. They're all fighting.
You have to hear this family who's so dysfunctional.
Right.
God, it's like
you know, they're fighting with the son. They're fighting with the daughter. The daughter's fighting with her friends. You can't ever have a good time. It's like, whereas in the
her
Friday
best
movies,
friend is
they're all partying, listening to music. They're fucking. It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, at least they seem like a little gang. I mean, in this, her best friend roofies her at the party.
Good point.
And
she was just trying to do her a favor to make her feel better.
And she's going like that to the brother at the end, Jonathan. She's going, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Your mum's dead, you stupid bitch. It's not going to be okay. Your brother's going to go into the social services now because you're only supposed to be 16. You're not going to get left with this boy after murdering a clown. What the hell do you think is going to happen?
Too, you know,
it's okay. It's okay. I became a superhero and had a magic sword and saved the day. I'm sure the cops will believe that one. Jesus.
Right. And they go to the abandoned carnival. I'm like, okay, this is right out of a Batman Joker comic book. But for some reason, the carnival is fully functional. All the props are in there. Yeah. Everything works. The power works.
Yeah. I could look past that if the rest of the movie was decent.
Right.
Yeah. I remember Terrifier 1.
Water? Well, what was that part? And then right there, the magic sword zaps her.
Why is the water there?
I mean, when that sword started coming to life with the really ancient looking effects on it, I just burst out laughing. Yeah. And I started singing, all the world's waiting for you and the powers you possess.
Well, it was obviously
Wonder Woman all of a sudden.
Influenced by Wonder Woman between the outfit and the sword.
Totally ridiculous. I mean, totally nonsense, which I could handle if it was done in an ironic way. But nothing in this movie really indicates that this guy's got a sense of irony. It just seems to happen because he thinks this would be cool, then this would be cool, then this would be cool. Instead of saying, right, okay, I did my grindhouse, low budget Terrifier movie. I'll do another one of them, and then I'll do a more fantasy kind of horror. And that'll be a separate thing and not combine the two. But in here, he just smashes everything together and it just ends up like the mother's face sitting at the dinner table, a pile of freaking mush with mashed potato poured all over it. It was horrendous. It was a disaster. It's possibly the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And I saw my grandmother dead in front of my eyes.
Oof.
Oof.
90% on Rotten Tomatoes is getting a 0% here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's somewhere in this 2 hour and 20-minute film, I think like 45 minutes of it, I kind of had fun with it, but that's like,
just like my grandmother's dead.
That's not
45 minutes of it.
It's not a lot, right? It's not a lot. It's not a lot. And I fell asleep during it. I had to go rewatch parts of it.
Took me 3 tries to finish it.
I paused it in 1 hour and 23 minutes to go walk the dog. And I saw the time on my TV. I'm like, this movie should be wrapping up. And it hasn't even started yet.
And that's exactly where the first one did wrap up, 1 hour 23. Yeah. Just exactly where. And the first one at the end, it says dedicated to George Romero, Wes Craven, and Tobe Hooper. Because remember, they all died within short periods. Yeah. And honest to God, if this movie said that at the end, I'd be sending threats through the post to Damien, because what an insult that would be to dedicate this piece of shit to those greats. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I'm going to knock this down 1/2 star in my book just after this conversation.
Well, how many stars did you put in the book?
I was thinking of, because I like the bits and there's certain aspects like the effects, I was going to give it maybe a low 2.5. I'm just going to give it 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Yeah.
Okay.
I like the effects. Some of the kill scenes were impressive. Some were just a little too over the top. There were some funny bits in it. Yeah, it was just way too long. I probably would give it 2 out of 5 as well. I have no interest in watching it again ever.
No.
What are you giving it, Craig, out of 5?
Probably 1. Yeah. It just most any movie, whether it's a horror movie or when you're really keep looking at how long have I been watching this?
I go, how long have I been watching this one scene?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just
That's why I said the Family Guy
when you feel
comparison.
like it's a drag, any movie, it should be enjoyable, to a point to watch. And when you're conscious of, I have somewhere to be at 3:00. I got to start this movie now, and so I can get out of here. It's like, ugh.
And it's noon.
Yeah.
This was the Tales of Topographic Oceans of Killer Clown movies.
I thought that I had that same thought, Davey, when I was driving the other day. Yep. Sure
It's
is.
Tales from Topographic Ocean, not to get off the
That's a
beat.
bad Yes album, right?
Well, I mean,
It's bloated.
Some people love it. I love parts of it, but it's too long. It's too bloated, right?
I text you and I said I don't know what ocean's around Wakanda, but it might be Topographic Ocean because that is one bloated movie.
Yeah, Chris, it's a double album with 4 songs, so it's
Wow.
so
So it's as bad as Nostradamus.
It's way better than Nostradamus.
better than that. Yeah.
Okay, so Terrifier 2 is the Nostradamus of.
There you go. That makes
The revealing science of art.
Give this. I'd give this a solid 0 out of 5. Any day.
2 out of 5.
Yeah. No, I do minuses. I mean, I might give it 5 out of 5, but they wouldn't be stars. They'd be asterisks, each denoting something majorly wrong with the movie. So yeah, honestly, people in the comments have been asking for this for weeks. My one question is, why? Please tell us why. What are we missing?
You guys tell us why it's so great and why you weren't bored during the long, dragged out parts, and tell us, especially if you're young.
That's what I don't get. Like, how are the young people who have no fucking attention span for anything
not grabbing their phone every 5 seconds?
I was going to say, yeah, they're attached to their fucking phone.
What's on Twitter or
yeah. That's why there's it blows my mind. How are these kids sitting through this and loving this?
Yeah, I don't know. I love a good gory horror movie just like anybody else.
Absolutely.
I watch tons of them, but and Chris, you and I have had this discussion many times. To me, straight out gore with just doesn't always work.
Absolutely.
You gotta have something else going.
Gotta have me something to sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
Characters I like, a good story, something, man. This has none of that.
I think Art being kind of amusing himself and doing the fake laugh for me adds a little something to the kill scenes. A little comedy.
After the 400th time, I was starting to kind of fall back on that one a bit.
Yeah, I mean, as a kind of wannabe iconic horror character, we haven't had anything like him in a long time, right? Because Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers. That's old school now. So maybe he's going to be the new iconic boogeyman.
Well, Warner's already announced that they're doing a Pennywise prequel.
Yeah.
Last week, so that's them doing their version.
Yeah.
Even if they don't get Bill Skarsgård back, so we're going to be deluged with this nonsense for the next 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Well, they'll have to figure how to reanimate.
Can we at least have Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
I was going to say they're still threatening a sequel to that.
I will enjoy that at least. I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space with their bubble guns and stuff. That's much more entertaining.
This is one of the reasons why you don't see. This is what I read. Why you don't see Ronald McDonald anymore in McDonald's ads because clowns have become creepy now.
Yeah,
interesting.
That makes
sense. Because they did some market research and it turns out nobody's ever fucking liked clowns ever. Has anybody ever said I'd love a clown at my birthday? But no.
Yeah, I go to the circus to see clowns. No, you go to the circus to see the animals, right? Yeah.
I don't like the clowns.
Try and steal an elephant or two. That's just what you do at the circus.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Looks like we got a bunch of thumbs down for Terrifier 2. I think we all kind of wanted to like it, but 2 hours and 20 minutes.
The first one's a fine little grindhouse.
75-minute fan edit. That's going to be good.
Yeah.
How many stars, Chris, out of 5?
I'd give it maybe 1.5. 1.5 to 2, maybe, like you. I mean, no more than that. I'd never watch it again. And unlike the Fridays and the Nightmares and the Halloweens, where I have rebought them all over and over again in every format, I wouldn't give you a fucking dollar for this one on Blu-ray. No thanks. If I see it at a flea market in 2 years from now, I'm going to walk right past it.
It's not worth the shelf space.
Nope. This and Dark Knight Rises. Fuck the two of them.
And was the raid called Terrifier just because they needed to find a way to explain why the movies have been called Terrifier? Is that what the ultimate
I don't know.
theme part was called Terrifier
from? There was that one scene where, right, the clown texts her
I'm at the Terrifier raid. It's like, well, what's that?
I have no idea. Right, that probably wasn't explained. Just like who the fuck Dad's character wasn't explained.
Yeah.
Damien Leone, if you want to come on the show and explain yourself, we have many questions, but also I don't want to talk to you, so I won't be on that episode because you're a disgrace to your family.
I don't know. Give me Victor Crowley any day. Sorry.
Yes, yeah, those movies. Even though I didn't like the last one, the first 3 are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I told Pete he should before I saw the movie, get that kid Elliot to come on the show with us.
He's brilliant. I think the main
we are way out of his
not
league now.
Yeah.
He's in a fucking movie that made $10 million.
Yeah.
Listen, he's not going to return Pete Pardo's phone calls or any messages from any of us.
Talk to my
fucking history.
Listen, Chris, how do you know, Chris, that he's not a massive Fusion fan and he's waiting on the call for Fusion Friday?
That's funny.
Come on.
But I can't believe Terrifier is still, I don't know how many theaters, but
it's still playing here.
It's still playing.
It's still playing locally for me too.
I couldn't believe it was 2 miles up the road from me at the big.
Even though you can
wait, because I think the Blu-ray is coming out like right before Christmas or right around Christmas time.
It's already out.
And I think Barbarian is still
already
out.
Yeah.
I streamed it on Screenbox, but yeah, you can still see it in the theater.
Yeah.
And thank God for that. Thank God I did see this at home because man, me and Pete and Craig, we could sit through 24 hours of movies, but man, this would have been a really tough sit through.
Yeah.
What
was the run?
It'll be played at the 24-hour hard.
Luckily, if you see it in the theater,
that'll be when I get something to eat.
Yeah. But luckily, if you see it in the theater, plenty of scenes to take a pee. Plenty of scenes. Shit, you could have the runs. You could eat Taco Bell beforehand and have the shits, be gone for 10 minutes, come back, not miss a fucking thing.
Just like the little girl in the laundromat.
Yeah, in fact, you could skip the movie. Yeah, just skip the movie. Actually,
go out and have beers and something to eat. And exactly.
Just go see something else. I don't care. Spielberg's getting you on it this week. There's Black Panther. That's not very good either, but still, it's a movie. There seems to be somebody that was involved in the script in that, at least. I'm not sure who, but unlike this.
Namor, they fucked up Namor.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, I haven't seen that yet, so we won't get started.
Okay.
So. All right, there you have it, everybody. Terrifier 2.
Get to fuck, Terrifier. Go and die, you clown. Fuck.
Let us know what you think of Terrifier 2 if you've seen it down in the comments below. But if you're a fan, hey, that's cool. No fans here on this panel, unfortunately, but we wanted to like it, but not in the cards.
Hey, other review, we love that movie. Yeah.
So stay tuned next week, everybody. We've got ranking the franchise of The Conjuring. So we will have some folks here taking part, some are not. We've got I think Dan Mailer and who else is going to be doing that one? Is Rich doing that one? I'm not sure.
No, but I'm out for that. I hate those movies as well.
Yeah, no, you don't like it. Chris hasn't
jump scare CGI pish. Don't start me on no. In fact, I'm just going to go on a rant tonight. That's my rant.
Davy's
Go
fired
back
up.
to bed, Davy.
Yeah, there you go. Davey needs some sleep.
I'm
Thanks
going for
watching.
breakfast.
That's right. Yeah, it's time for you to.
Well, what time is it? What time is it there now?
4 a.m.
Oh, Jesus.
Shame without a warning.
Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching The Monsters Den. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together
All
the
the
time.
damn time.
Stay tuned next Thursday for The Conjuring. Till then, for Jamie Laszlo, Craig Kaminski, Davy Gallagher, and Chris Allo, I am Pete Pardo. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, everybody, and a great weekend, and we'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.